you? Thank you for
Hello.
coming along. Today we are talking about conflict management. So as managers on the line or whatever department you're working in, this is to do with how you negotiate a conflict between workers or a conflict situation that's happening. So firstly, let me define conflict management. Basically, it's a conflict between two or more parties that have conflicting or differing needs, wants or opinions in the workplace. For example, that may lead to a struggle or contest between these parties and could potentially harm the business in terms of productivity, loss of business, loss of profit, relationship disruptions that also could cause issues in the workplace or otherwise, health and safety issues, or other important problems that will require management to either stop or minimise the damage. The sooner this is addressed and the more effectively it's addressed, obviously, the better, because any sort of conflict in the workplace is going to have an effect, like I said, on the business, but it also has an effect on us as humans. It has an effect on your workers. It can upset them, it can cause time off work, all those sorts of things. So in terms of providing a nice, safe, effective workplace where we get the job done and we run the organisation like we're supposed to, conflict management is really important to sort out. So pretty much this is where you guys come in. In terms of conflict that you've experienced in the workplace, give me an example of something maybe that you've seen that sort of addresses what I was just talking about, in conflicts with relationships or conflicts with health and safety or issues that have come up. So, what kind of conflict tell me about a conflict. As managers, absolutely, you've experienced some sort of conflict. What kind of conflict?
Yeah, many of the conflicts always are somebody goes staying longer on a break, somebody...
breaks are good,
The breaks, they will stay longer on the break. Somebody's always complaining that somebody's staying longer, the other one is working for the person. And then we... it's always a problem. And
so tea breaks and lunch breaks?
Always on that party, because somebody thinks that it's working too hard, and somebody is actually just, so they're whinging.
Or they're just ready for a cup of tea, so they think, I'm going to head off and put the kettle on.
Yes, so that's one of the examples that we have a problem with when they're whinging.
When somebody goes off on too many tea breaks or too many lunch breaks, what kind of problems does this cause in the workplace? So how do you see other workers responding to this particular person or people?
They're not very happy, they start to be frustrated, which is not really good for the environment, because some of them, they can't keep it up for themselves and they show it on their facial expression while they're working, so which is really not nice for a customer service. Frustration you can see, and you can feel it in the rooms where they're working.
Okay, so it causes some tension and you can feel it. Okay.
Yeah, if it's all the time, is that all the time like that? Then it's it can be a big problem. It can be a big problem in the end,
Oh, it can be, because people get frustrated and then they don't. It can cause a couple of things. A, they get really angry with the person who's doing it, and B, they think, well, if they can do it, I can do it, and so suddenly you've got half the workforce off taking tea breaks when actually it would be great to get some work done. So what did you do about it?
So I'm trying to sort it out. I'm giving them, was trying to show them that everybody should be having the same amount of time of the break. They had to take it not together, so just to make it
okay, so like a progressive sort of thing, like a roster?
A roster when having the break. So in the beginning it works.
So one person starts at 10 o'clock, they have their break, someone else starts at 10:15, they have their break, someone else starts at 10:20.
That's the way it can work, so because then that way somebody's working all the time, so somebody's there and somebody's having their break, so you can't they're not conflicting each other, so it's not all the time somebody's
So your department obviously relies on the fact that you cannot have the entire workforce down tooling and putting the kettle on at the same time. There's still going to be people managing shop, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good. What about you?
Can I just add on to that?
Absolutely.
Maybe the best way we can do it is actually implement, as you mentioned before, a roster. These are the daily basis on how many people that you actually have working in that area. So you can just communication, and it's like basic like that, or who's doing for the first one, and then just actually get ownership or said, okay, I'm taking the second one, to make it a bit more.
So get everybody involved.
Yes.
Get
Communication
them
is
all
the
to
best, and then
communicate and
actually
agree to what the
just
word is.
put it in black and white. What's the schedule to be run off? Maybe that might help.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Get everybody
So
in on it. So
and to
instead of
talk
you making
between-
the decision
Yeah,
and
that
you
would
both
be
being the
much
bad person,
better because, yeah.
make them work
To
together in
talk,
there.
communication between
Yeah.
now and they decide which one, who wants to start first, who wants to go when. Yeah, that could work.
And
yeah.
how long it takes.
Yeah,
Okay. And that way everybody agrees on it and it's up there and
yeah, that should be a
They've all decided on it
Yes,
together
because it's
instead of-
all together, it's on
Yeah.
the wall, and if you're not sure, you check.
and you would mediate this discussion and negotiation with the employees so that there wasn't an all-out brawl and the person that came out and won,
Yes.
kind of thing. Okay. So, well, what kind of conflict have you dealt with?
Well, some of the conflict is constantly now is the mobile phones.
Mm.
So people actually, jumping into that, actually will have it all the time in their hands. Although sometimes we have the internal phone, but due to the communication, sometimes if they have kids, they need urgency. So maybe we can just implement something that would make them more reachable
Okay.
and contactable, so to get rid of the phone.
Mobile phones are a problem because they are such a way of life now that pretty much it is very difficult to surgically remove anybody from their mobile phone. So it's one of those things that can't necessarily be taken away, but it can be managed
Yes.
better. So to tell somebody to leave their mobile phone at home is almost impossible. But if they could lock it away for periods of time and check it in breaks and things like
Yes.
that might work better.
Yes.
So, so with the mobile phone issue that you've had, this also possibly, if you've got somebody that's having excessive mobile phone use,
Yes.
which is the problem.
With all this Candy Crush going on and stuff like that, the Facebook, social media. Can take
Is it
lot
a
of
social
time.
media thing, or is there an issue that they're constantly checking their phone? Maybe a family member or something. They're worried that somebody's sick, or they have a child that they're worried preschool will call or something. Is it an urgent issue, or is it a slack issue where they really are just checking their Candy Crush progress?
Yes. In some cases, they're actually emergency cases. They
Okay.
need to have it on the hand.
Yeah.
But for most of the time, it's just social media.
Okay. I don't agree that they need to have it on hand.
Yes.
If we are working in a workplace like we are, we actually have access to normal telephones, to landlines. So if a family member has got a problem, or we have children and childcare and that sort of thing, generally the childcare place or the family members that need to get in touch with these people will have the landline numbers where they can get in touch, or they can have a manager number where they can get in touch with the manager. Manager can then alert the employee urgently. In our workplace, I think that mobile phones probably are a risk to health and safety, not just the employees, but also the people that they're working with. So in terms of negotiating them away from their mobile phone use, probably, you would possibly need to have a look at how you can manage that without expecting them to do the impossible and put it away for 8 hours. So, if they were operating machinery or doing something where obviously, you should not be pulling drills down and checking your messages either. So in terms of, if it's not a family issue, if there's not an issue where they need to be communicating constantly on their mobile, then really it should go away until A, they can check it in their breaks, or they have access to another form of communication like the landline, that sort of thing. I don't know, give me your feedback on that. We're going to do a bit of role play anyway.
Yes. Because I'm thinking of in cases of like that one, emergency, because in our industry we move kind of a lot of people. So maybe you can just hand it on to the receptionist if that's available.
Okay.
So at least if
Yeah.
it rings, then they'll be
Yeah.
able to do so.
Okay.
I think that's another
Okay.
thing that we can
So
do around.
All right. So in this case, we're going to do a little bit of role play,
Okay.
which nobody enjoys, but we'll cope, because it's always interesting to see how well you can communicate with this person and how well you understand the communication, all that sort of thing. It's all part of the negotiation sort of stuff that we do when we need to make sure that people are safe and doing the right thing according to policies and procedures, which is part of your job because you're managers. So you are the person now who is just constantly checking their phone for one reason or another. you are the person now who needs to find out why. Why are you checking your phone all the time? Is there a good reason for this? And if there is, how do we accommodate you with your need for this communication, but keep you and the other people that you work with safe in the workplace? And also, it needs to be a fair arrangement. I mean, if you're constantly on your phone, then obviously everybody else can be too, and that's not acceptable. So you are the person who's using their phone constantly,
Okay.
and you're the person that has to tell her how we're going to manage this. So with the points that you came up with before, maybe leaving her phone with the receptionist. If it goes off, check it. Other forms of communication, i.e. tell the preschool family member that's trying to contact her, whatever, to get in touch with the to get in touch on one of the landlines that we use. Give her the manager's mobile phone number. Obviously, you'd have to check with the manager that that's all right, and let them know about what sort of, what you're dealing with here. Any one of those scenarios, anyway.
I'm still on the phone. Nobody's telling me anything, but I guess I can stay on the phone.
Oh, Sonia, how are you today?
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm just wondering, is there any emergency? That's why you have that phone in your hand?
Yes, actually, I'm waiting for my son to call when he wakes up for the school.
Have you
If
actually?
he's not, so I can call him back. Yeah.
Have you tried actually asking the reception area to actually just call you if it rings? Because we have patients looking at you at the moment.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I was just checking this here because if he doesn't wake up, I have to wake him up so he doesn't be late for school. But maybe I could try that and leave it to the receptionist and let her know if he calls, so I can call him back.
Okay. And if that's the case, you can also give your son my number. So in case I have to deploy you somewhere else, I can actually answer the phone for you.
Okay,
Would that
Yeah,
help?
that would help. Yes.
Okay.
So I can take my phone on my break, or
Of course, that is your break. You can do whatever you want.
okay, yeah, I will be fine with that.
That's really good. Sorry, your phone going off.
Yes.
That's really good. So I mean, you've told her that there's an issue. You've understood there's
Yeah, I
an issue.
understood,
You've come
yeah,
up with
what she
several
said,
options to fix the issue.
Yeah.
You've been very easygoing about all of this. If you weren't so easygoing about all of this, then we'd
Yes.
obviously have to take further. There are some times where, I mean, if your mother was having a life-saving operation and
Yeah,
you
of
were
course, yeah.
looking at this phone because you were very worried, then that would be a little bit different, because I would be probably suggesting that you not even be at work.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
yeah. This is
obviously, if
this is one of the examples, but
Yeah.
I'll have this. But this is not it's not urgent.
Yeah.
But in that case, maybe even better not to be, because
Yeah.
the person will not be right.
No, you
He
wouldn't
will
be
feel-
focused.
yeah,
You wouldn't be
not
focused at
focused,
work
yes.
if
It
you're
will be
if you're
very
so
good
worried that
for
you're
something
checking your-
urgent like that. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
But obviously, you don't address that in front of other people.
no,
bigger
always.
discussion.
Always. Confidentiality is always really important. Whatever is going on, I'm sure you don't want to discuss with the general public. But
Yes.
yeah.
makes sense.
That
does.
yeah.
All right. If you had to handle something like that in the workplace, you're not without support, because you have other management around you that you would talk to, me included. But generally, I mean, you've been managers for a while. You sound like you've pretty much got it under control. But you're happy with that? Is there anything that you'd want to address or bring up?
No, I'm fine. Yeah,
No.
I think it's all good. We
Great.
went through all of the stuff. Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Fran.
much.
You're welcome.